that.
Oh.
Hello and welcome everybody to Twitch Monster 27 and 105 The Drive. We appreciate you joining us for the Speed Report. This is week 6 and 7. We're combining weeks this week because there was no Speed Report last week. So we appreciate all of you guys joining us. Before we get started, if you want to... Wow, okay, well, let's mute that. Before we get started, here's an ESPN update, all right? Before we get started, if you want to check out any news about the series, points, or team points, or anything like that, driver roster, schedule, anything like that, please be sure to tune in to www.thegamingriff.com. If you are interested in joining KMR, please message Sam Cook 2728785 and with your gamer tag, and we will definitely work hard to get you a ride to get yourself started. With me today up here in the studio, we have Speedy, one of the original of the Speed Crew, and we also have Wesley, who's going to join us today. He's a rookie in the KMR series and drives in the truck series primarily, but is looking to try to get that precious call up to the Cup series.
Be nice.
Wes, thanks for joining us today, man.
Thank you. Honor.
All right, well, we're going to get to you here shortly because we'll first talk about the trucks, man. What a race we had at Iowa. It was an awesome race.
Really
and
was.
It was so fun to see that battle. Even though there wasn't really a caution that bunched everybody together. One thing was for sure, Wes, you absolutely dominated that race. Just tell us again what it was like, out there for you. Just take us kind of through the race.
At the beginning, me and Pennzoil and Foreign were battling for like the first place, second place, and third place, and then Foreign fell back. He got a spin out, and then me and Pennzoil were kind of leaning on each other for pit strategy to see who'd flinch, and when he called it, I kind of went with him. But I changed my pit strategy there at the end, and I think Wool was out, and he led a few laps there at the end.
Okay, you were able to snag the win, and single car team gives you the team points bonus, and you're the points leader coming into what could potentially be the last race of the season. So how you feeling? Where's your mindset coming into this chase now?
I feel like I could possibly win the championship. Kansas, obviously a one-groove track. It'll bring your tires up on the high side, so we'll see what happens.
Definitely. Well, the points cap is the reason why the chase is coming so quickly. 400 points is the points cap, and we've seen Wes as well as several others have the opportunity to close in on that gap. Only 62 points are left before the start of the postseason. So it could potentially mean that Kansas could be the last race, or it could mean that ISM is the last race of the regular season for this truck series. Speedy, when we look at the standings, when I actually have the standings pulled up, when we look at the standings for the truck series, obviously Wes is up front. Only potentially 1 to 2 races left. You look at the bubble down here. Terrier, Wool, obviously Wool with the win has locked himself in, barring that he makes sure that he doesn't have any too many absences. But who do you see having to getting in this last couple races for these bubble drivers down here?
Honestly, the only one I can see that would possibly make it in would probably be Ice. Make sure Ice, because he's been showing up. Dale Jr. fan has not. And that's just from seeing what's on the website. If there's somebody else on the list that I don't see,
No, bubble drivers. Chase bubble drivers. Top 6.
Oh, top 6. Okay. Yeah.
Top 6 bubble drivers.
Terrier, as long as he can show up, make it. I have a feeling he's got a good chance of possibly knocking Beloved out because he's only 13 points behind Beloved. So he's just got to show up, get a good couple races, finish ahead of Beloved a couple times. He'll be in, Beloved will be out. I mean, so Beloved's, he's got to stick with it and try to get the finishes he needs. Try to make sure he doesn't lag out and stuff because he's been having issues with connection issues lately. Wolfpack or Zach or Josh, I mean, if one of them show up and come out and get a win, that knocks them right into the top 6. So I mean, I think it's still anybody's game to get into the top 6.
Definitely, and I want to add, Foreign Whip has a win. I apologize, this is not marked on the point standings, but he does have a win, so he's locked in either way. Yeah, I just want to stick with Beloved just a little bit longer, simply because of his his being around KMR so long, his experience and everything. Speedy, how much pressure is on Beloved these next 2 races to get into the chase? How much pressure is on them?
I know if it was me, there'd be a lot. He's ran all these races so far, no win. He's gotten some decent finishes. I think he's gotten at least 1 or 2 top 5s, maybe. I think. Yeah, 2 top 5s. But like I said, lately he's been having issues with connection issues, and that right there can hurt you a ton. So I mean, I'd be pretty stressed out about that personally if it was me. Hoping I can stay into the race, and then on top of that, if I can't stay in, still perform the way I need to perform to beat the drivers I need to be beating to stay in the top 6.
Yeah, for sure. Iowa, he stayed in it all the way, but did not get a good finish. So it's going to have to be a 2-part effort. Wes, you understand these trucks. You race these trucks and are obviously the points leader, doing really good by 22. So if you're Beloved, put yourself in Beloved's shoes. What can he do at Kansas to ensure that he has a good run?
I say,
besides not lagging out,
push the trucks to its limits. Don't push it over. Don't run into to where it will spin out or something. But just kind of be conservative on the tires.
All right, we've noticed that when tires go, so do the cars and trucks. I can tell you from experience, these cars get loose. So what we can do real quick is, now we're done picking on Beloved for this session, we can go through the top 6 real quick. And this top 6, if the season were to end right now, these top 6 would be in. Let's start with number 6, and that is Wool Tortoise. Speedy Wool Tortoise started off so hot. He was on fire, and looks to have cooled off just a little bit. Speedy, what do you give him as far as what percentage do you give him as far as chances to win a championship this season?
I don't want to give him a percentage, but I think he's got a good chance. If he can turn around and go do what he was doing at the beginning of the season, come out there, show some dominance, be up there, lead some laps, and just get the finishes he needs. And other drivers have some bad luck or whatnot. Hey, he's got a good chance of winning it. But at the same time, if he continues the way he's been going in the last few weeks, not having the best finishes that I think he's capable of, then there's a chance he's not going to get it.
Wes, you've ran against him. He has won a race.
Yep.
Yeah. What's what percentage do you give him to have a shot to make it to the final 3?
It's really a 50-50. I mean, it depends how the cards play out for him. Depends if he DNFs or like he gets a bad finish or he gets a good finish. We'll never know until it happens.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. That's why we race. You can have the fastest car, be the best driver, come short of the finish because so many things can happen out there on a racetrack. He's got pressure from behind, but he's got that race win to lock him in. So he continues with his good attendance because he has been here for most of the season. Then we know guaranteed he's going to be in to the chase. All right, we already talked about Beloved. Let's move over to Pennzoil, who in that 98 looks really, really good, really consistent. Just got a win in the X Series as well, dominated the X Series. But Wes, a lot of times we say you, Foreign, Pennzoil are the big 3 of the Truck Series. Would you agree with that? Is he someone that you had game plan for as you move in each race?
Yeah, I definitely game planned for him. I wasn't expecting him to, completely lose the race at the end of Iowa, but like he was up there with me, and I do plan on racing hard with him in the past.
Definitely. Speedy, how would you rate Pennzoil so far? Does he remind you of anyone in the current Cup Series? How would you game plan against him if you were running against him?
Can't say exactly he reminds me of anybody because there are so many drivers we've raced against. But he's been showing a lot of speed, getting really good finishes. To get the game plan against him would just be try to go out there and just run the best race I can, and try to, if it goes on like pit strategy, try to outspit pit strategy. Just try to run more fuel or pit early or something. Just try to use pit road stops to my advantage. Try to stay in front of him.
One thing we've noticed out of Pennzoil is that he is very patient with his runs. He is very lethargic with his driving. He doesn't use up his tires. He's good on late runs. Someone you got to keep an eye on in that rearview mirror because he is dangerous. What about Woozy Emu? Speedy, when the season first started, obviously you knew what the roster was going to be. Woozy started off in the trucks only, had to get a call up. Did you expect the Emu to be in 3rd place in Truck Series points when you saw the roster and you watched him race?
To be quite honestly, no. I knew some of these other drivers coming in, and I think I'd raced against him a time or two before, and I didn't think he was going to show what he's been showing this season. So he's really impressed me on that. He's been showing a really good speed, running really good races, putting himself in positions he needs to be putting himself in. So I mean, I say kudos to him, and I hope him the best of luck to see if he can go get the championship.
Right. Wes, Woozy Emu is right there in the top 3. What do you think about his driving so far? Is he somebody that you got your eyes on, or what do you think he's going to be like racing against in the chase?
Racing against in the chase, I think he'll finish. He'll finish good. I wouldn't say he would be up there with me for Pennzoil, but he'll be a top 5 car. And racing against him, I mean, as long as he can finish, it really don't matter what happens. Maybe you can say head of Pennzoil.
Definitely. And he got his call up about midway the Truck Series. So That gives him the opportunity to run in the X Series as well, which we'll get to in a little bit. And so he really has nothing to lose out of, running and missing, or not missing the chase, but, running and being eliminated. However, every run that he makes increases his opportunity for those call-up points and to get to the Cup Series. And I know he's looking forward to trying to get back to the Cup Series and running with the big dogs. And so this is proof here. If he's able to go out there in some kind of way, magically wins the championship or gets to the final round, what an awesome opportunity that would be, man. And the benefit would be those call-up points. Let's talk about foreign, man. Would you say foreign West is your toughest competition? Because I'm gonna tell you, foreign whip, we've seen. I still remember the epic battle that you guys had, you and foreign had at Auto Club, where you guys just went back and forth.
We duked it out. We were down to our last shed of tire before we finished. Yeah, foreign definitely up there with Pennzoil. I love to race the guy.
Yeah, he's a class act, man. He's a great driver. He leaves it all out there on the track, and so you just have to love that. Now, we can actually start talking about here. Woozy Emu is 108 points back. And it would be awesome if he's able to either get a win or, get up there in regular season points and be able to challenge. But we do know this. Foreign Whip is less than a win away from you. Only 22 points back. So how do you approach keeping Foreign Whip away from that championship points lead?
Really?
As you battle out for his last few races in the regular season.
Really just try to finish ahead of him. It's really the goal every time I come to the racetrack. Just try to finish ahead. That will sustain the points lead. Don't want to wreck the car trying to, block for the thing.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely don't want to tear up the truck and have him, sneak away and win. That would definitely secure a points lead for him. Speedy, foreign whip, obviously gets the call up to the X Series. He's done really, really good. Let me ask you, do you think foreign whip could be a driver that could get a win in the Cup Series?
With time, yes. He's shown a lot of great speed. He's got really good. He knows how to hold his line and stuff. He knows how to race. He's got a chance of winning a Cup race when he gets there. But at the same time, he's also got to remember the Cup races are a lot longer. So you got to be able to withstand a lot more and be way more patient on the longer runs than what you do when it comes to the trucks and Xfinity. So, I mean, all these drivers are showing really good speed right now and really good driving. But it's going to be a lot different when they come up to Cup for a lot longer race.
That is true. And a lot harder competition. That is true. Well, that's our top 6, but that definitely can change. The advantage and the way it could change is here, obviously, when you look at what's going on here with the points. Wolfpack is actually mathematically still in it. Zach Attack, Josh, they're out. Even if they were to win, they have not been here yet, made enough races for the win not to be encumbered. So they are basically eliminated. But you look at Wolfpack, he's not. Now, this is how this has to work, though. Number one, he has to get, because he did not race the trucks last Iowa, I don't think. Did he race the trucks last Iowa, West?
Zach or
last week? No, Wolfpack.
No, he didn't.
No, so this is how this has to work. I didn't think so. This is how it has to work. First of all, he has to ask Pennzoil if he can get 30 team points. Then he goes out there, he has to win the race. And he has to finish ahead of Terrier and ahead of Wool Tortoise. Wool Tortoise has to basically lag out or DNF, and he could have a chance to jump from 8th place up to 6th and into the chase. It's a long shot, but he's not out of it yet. So it's a stretch, but there's so much that can happen in this next week. The next race, of course, is Kansas. The last time we were there, Zesty won that race, but obviously Zesty's not in the truck series, so it's anybody's game here in that. Let's look real quick at our team points with the last few races about to end, and the battle for the team points is hot. Wes, your team is in 3rd. DGR is in 2nd. KBM in 1st. But look at the points difference here. Things could change quickly. Wes, obviously your team's in 3rd. How would you grade your performance? Your single car team. How would you grade your performance this season in the team points battle?
Oof. Definitely close to the others. I mean, I show my speed. Not like I'm the fastest guy out there, but I definitely show my speed out there to get them team points.
And you have the benefit that you haven't had to use any either. That's definitely helped out a lot. Speedy, KBM or DGR, who you got at the end of the season?
Honestly, I don't know. But if I had to go with it, a choice. If it goes for the next 2 races, I think 72 might go off and take the team points. If it goes for the next 2 races. If it goes for just the single race, KBM might be able to hold off.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it. Both of these teams have multiple drivers, so those team points, we'll see how it works out. Puts a lot of pressure on KBM. KBM is one of the only teams of 2 or more drivers that has gotten a team finish. They got a team finish at Martinsville, where Wool Tortoise won and Woozy finished 2nd. So that definitely pushed them up towards the front and up toward the lead. And they have kind of been there ever since. So we'll keep an eye on them. DGR's had to climb from the bottom. Now they're here. We'll see what they can do. I hope everyone musically inclined caught that reference. But anyway. All right, that's our truck series. We move on. X series. And the X series had a good weekend at Iowa too. Big finish, came down to the wire. Last couple laps, big wrecks we had and everything. It was a good weekend. Hair Bear is our points leader, and it was a unique position. Hair Bear had such a significant lead on the drivers in the X series that he could miss a race. It was in no danger of missing the chase, no danger of losing his points lead. But not only that, he extended the series by at least 1 race by him not showing up but having that points lead. I thought that was absolutely incredible. It was absolutely stunning for him to have that kind of lead. Speedy, are you impressed with what Hair Bear has done so far this season in the X Series?
Oh, yes. He's been showing great speed like I know he's capable of. He's been showing up when he needs to be. He's been showing getting the finishes he needs to be getting himself out there in the points lead. Just trying to stay consistent, stay steady, stay patient, and it's been working out for him. And like you said, yeah, he had enough points lead where he could take off for a week. So hopefully he'll be back this weekend and possibly be able to gain more on that points lead. He lost some points because he was gone that 1 week. Let's see if he can come back and extend it back out.
We'll keep an eye on that. 167 points remain before the start of the chase. A win is 65 points. So still about 3 to 4 races, depending on whether Hair Bear can continue to dominate or not, before the start of the chase. So we're looking at well past Indianapolis. We're looking at towards the Talladega or possibly even Daytona further on in the season before the start of the chase, which is excellent. Now, one thing that did happen was that with Hair Bear's absence was that he loses the team points lead. CMR dropped from number 1 in the team points down to 3rd. They lost spots to RCR, who took over the points lead, and SHR, which sits 2nd. And of course, that's Pennzoil's ride. Speedy, is this a concern for CMR? Can Hair Bear get that position back?
I think as long as he shows up again and finishes every race and whatnot, I think he can get it back. Because, I mean, he missed one race. One race isn't that big of a deal, especially when you got another probably 3, as you said, to go. That's plenty of time for those other teams to have issues. As long as he shows up and he doesn't have issues, gets the finishes he needs, he can easily get the points back. The team point lead back.
True. Well, what about RCR and their multi-team driver? Multi-team, I should say, where they have not only Wool Tortoise, but they also have Wolfpack, who showed up at Iowa this past weekend for the X Series and gave RCR that big boost.
I mean, they don't have a second car or third car that shows up every single week. So there's no guarantee they're going to get that extra boost for it. So, I mean, we just have to wait and see what happens. But I still have faith in Hair Bear. Hair Bear's been having one heck of a season this season. I think he's got what it takes to keep going and get the points lead back on that.
Yep, absolutely. We'll keep an eye on that. 9 drivers will make the chase in the X Series. We already talked about Hair Bear. 41 points back from Hair Bear is Beloved, sitting in 2nd. He's been in 2nd the entire season. Now, Wes, you drove these cars a little bit. Is there a significant difference between the X Series cars and the way they handle and the Truck Series trucks and the way they handle?
Definitely. I think the spoiler has the most effect on it because they're lower and they make the car a little looser to drive. Not all that easier on the track.
Okay, so Speedy, help us out here. What's been the difference between the Beloved in the Truck Series and the Beloved here in the X Series, with arguably a tougher roster to have to beat out than in the trucks?
Personally, I think he's just been getting lucky on all the call-up drivers, because there's several people that were here when we started the Xfinity series that aren't here no more, or they're way down in points. And then we got all these call-up drivers that have been coming in, and that's just changing the points so much. Yes, he's been having some decent finishes. He's got 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s. He's got to continue doing that. But so far, I think he's been lucky so far. He's still got to keep working on getting faster. I really think he's just got to continue getting faster.
Do you see, Beloved taking over the points lead? Do you think he can snatch the points lead at the end from Hair Bear? He's only 41 points back. That's less than a win.
Honestly, I would be shocked if he did. But at the same time, that's if Hair Bear shows up. I'd be shocked. Now, if Hair Bear can't make it or something, oh yeah, he's definitely got the opportunity to take the points lead. But if Hair Bear shows up, I think he's going to have to work a little bit harder and continue trying to do what he's been doing all season and get faster and try to be able to beat Hair Bear to be able to get that points lead.
A Hair Bear, or rather Beloved, had an excellent opportunity to close the gap even more at Iowa. Came up short with another poor finish. I just think it was the track also that really had Beloved struggling. He has a chance to try and turn things around with a track that he's familiar with at Kansas. So we'll keep an eye on whether he can get that done. This name seems to pop up too a lot, and that is Wool Tortoise. Again, we talk about Wool. He's sitting third place. He is a whole win and 2 positions away from the points lead right now, 72 points back. Once I find his car, I don't know why it's so hard to find cars today, so just bear with me anyway. For Wool, is he a threat for the championship at all, West, in the X Series?
Oh, I think so. I mean, there's no doubt that Hair Bear Beloved don't show up, and he could easily swipe that points lead. Well, we'll just see in a few upcoming races, see if he performs well.
Yeah, we know that Wool Tortoise has some Cup experience, and he has ran in Cup before. He's had the opportunity to sub this season. Has done really, really well. Speedy, what do you think has been the biggest improvement in Wool from the Wool Tortoise we knew when he first came in? The oh my gosh, why is he in here, Wool Tortoise? And the Wool Tortoise we see here, who in 2 separate series is battling in that chase spot.
I think he's really matured with his driving style. He's gotten more patient than the way he used to be. He's always had speed. That's one thing he's never lacked. He's never lacked not having speed. But he used to not be able to keep his temper down, keep his patience down, and be there near the end. But this season, he's actually showing he does have the patience. He does have the speed. He is there at the end. He is someone to have to fight for it. So, I mean, he's got a good chance.
Wool Tortoise would love to have the opportunity to take up that ride in the X Series and have the opportunity to run the 11. He's got a ton of call-up points he's been earning. He's been doing a really, really good job. He just has to keep doing it. And we'll see if he can fight and win the X Series championship. Wouldn't that be interesting? 4th place, Pennzoil. Again, another name that's been coming up quite frequently. And Pennzoil in that 98 car, he had a rough race in the X Series, and that was there at Martinsville. But since then, he's looked really good. And there at Iowa, Speedy, you ran with him. He dominated that Iowa race. Is he for real? Is he someone that can challenge and be good in the series, win the championship in the series?
I definitely know he's got the speed to do it. He's got the speed to do it. He's shown a lot of good patience. He's doing really good pit strategies and stuff. I think he's got a really good chance once the chase starts to go out there and possibly battle Hair Bear and Wool for this championship. And if Beloved's still able to stick around, Beloved too.
Does Pennzoil, West, do you think Pennzoil puts any pressure on the field to game plan for him and up their talent level as this season concludes?
I think he'll definitely be a threat for that championship. He's really fast, and I raced with him at Iowa. I could barely keep up with him, pushing the car as hard as I could. But yeah, I think he'll be a contender.
Well, we'll certainly have to keep our eyes out, because if Pennzoil continues to have races like he did at Iowa, then he could definitely be knocking on the door of that points lead, especially with Beloved struggling and Wool kind of cooling off from the start that he had earlier on in the season. Pennzoil could definitely come flying through. He's only 108 points back. Surprise, 5th place. Terrier in that '09 car, and since we don't have an '09, we're just gonna have an O, and then just pretend like there's a 9 there. All right, so Terrier, no wins obviously on the season this season yet. But are you guys surprised to see Terrier 5th place and in the X series and in the chase?
I'll be honest, I am. From racing him in the past, but he's actually shown me something this season. Coming up, racing hard, showing speed, getting finishes he needs to get. So I mean, he's really proved something to me in my eyes.
My opinion, honestly, not surprised. He's shown speed in the Xfinity series. Obviously, going from the truck to Xfinity series are a lot different, so they're going to show more speed, more improvement. So I expect him, be in top 5, top 6.
Okay, is he a threat to what round do you have Terrier getting to? Is he a threat to go all the way?
I think he'll at least make it to round 2, but I think it'll be a close round 2 battle for that final round.
Terrier has Cup experience. Speedy, do you think Terrier has benefited from being a single car team?
I don't know if he's actually benefited first from being a single car team, but I definitely do think he's one of the top picks for me getting it to the final 3 or 4, whoever make it to the last round.
Okay, we'll definitely keep an eye on him. We know Josh in 6th place had that awesome Martinsville finish, really because of just the all-out brawl that happened at the end with cars everywhere, and he was able to survive and finish 2nd. But since then, not necessarily the most impressive run. He sits 6th place. We'll keep an eye on him. Woozy Emu again. Woozy finds himself. You know what? Honestly, I think he's the 4. I think Woozy's the 4 as well here. I hope he is, because I'm stopping at 4. But anyway, Woozy has had some pretty good runs. He did get that aggressive driving penalty at Watkins Glen, but since then he has run pretty well. But Speedy, let me ask you this: obviously he's looking to get called up to the Cup Series. The fact that he's doing so well in the trucks, and yet sits 7th in the X Series, do you think that this shows he's not quite ready for the talent that's in the Cup Series?
I'd have to say yes and no. He's been showing some good speed, but I don't think he's got the patience and the experience enough to go for the long, hard races that we go for on Cup Series with the talent of drivers we have out there.
Yeah, Woozy looking to gain those precious call-up points and try to get himself out, but right now just not close enough to the top to be one of the guys that's going to be selected, one of the few guys that'll be selected this season potentially. So he still has some work to do, and we'll see. What he does in the chase will have a lot to do with what happens to him next season. So if that's any motivation for Woozy to continue to improve as the season continues, we'll get a chance to see that 4 car and what he can do out there on the racetrack. Obviously, Wolfpack in 8th. His attendance at Iowa was huge in having the opportunity to get himself into that chase run. Now he's in the chase, and Foreign Whip on the bubble, or actually on a big bubble, not only does he have to pass, he's going to have to pass Wolfpack because Amari sits below him, and Amari has at least one, maybe two more races he has to miss in order for his win to be encumbered. So right now, if the chase were to start, Amari moves up into that ninth spot with the win. Foreign Whip is out. Guys, what's been the challenge Foreign Whip has had transitioning from a second place, awesome running truck to struggling and on the bubble in the X Series?
Um, as you know, Mario's off easily fast, but I think Foreign will, show some speed there at the end for the chase. I don't think Amari's going to attend another Xfinity race, at least not in Kansas. But yeah, I think Foreign will hold on to that ninth spot.
Amari and Foreign have both ran the same amount of races. Both have ran 3. Let's compare the statistics. Top 3s for Foreign 1, top 5s 1, top 10s 3 out of 3 races. So he's got top 10s. Whether that's primarily because of attendance or not, you be the judge. But then when you look at Amari, a win, 2 poles, 1 top 3, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s. He's done really well in 3 races, including a win. So we'll keep an eye on that. Amari on danger of having the win encumbered, and Foreign in danger of not being able to overcome Wolf and get himself into the series. And for Amari, obviously, he's not fighting for call-up points. He's, fighting for a points lead in the Cup Series. However, Foreign is fighting for call-up points. Obviously, this means a huge deal if he's able to get into the chase and continue to run for competition in the series. We can see how far he can advance. It'll be like a new season if he's able to indeed make the chase. So we'll keep our eyes on Foreign Whip. Bubble drivers, obviously Dale Jr.'s there, Mixer's there, Scotty, Hindu, both with wins. However, with their failed attendance, the likelihood of those wins being encumbered go up significantly. So they're going to have to indeed start to attend those races to ensure that they can keep those wins or that the wins qualify. And they still, because of coming into the series a little later, they still might not necessarily qualify to keep those wins. So tough for them. They're really going to have to start making headway in the series if they're going to have an opportunity. They're an excellent start or excellent chance to begin with that at Kansas. So we'll keep our eyes out for the X Series this coming weekend. RCR, SHR, CMR, we already talked about them. They're the top 3. Cullick Racing, 4th. JR Motorsports, 5th. Terrier Motorsports, your top 6 in team points. We'll keep an eye out on the team points battle. Definitely some drivers that could use those team points. Well, we move on to our final series, and again at Iowa, Slothy had early success in the Cup Series, and he was able to secure the pole, his first pole of the season. And he did pretty good the first half of that race. He led some laps ahead of those guys who looked really, really fast. But as the race, wait a minute, there is an 18 car in the Cup Series. Did I pass it? I think I passed it.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's Kyle Busch.
Did I delete Kyle Busch? No, okay. All right. Anyway, Slothy did really, really good to start the race, but as the race continued, he started to cool off. Speedy, is this Slothy kind of coming to life here with the success he had at Iowa? What does he have to do to complete the start that he had?
I think if he's gonna want to continue keeping on this way he's been going, because he's been showing a whole lot of speed. He's real fast. I give him that. But he's got to start being more patient. Got to start watching how he's racing people, watching his lines. Try not to be setting and bumping people and whatnot. Because he's got the speed to beat any of us out there on any given track, any given time. He's fast. He's talented. He's just got to stay patient and stay calm and just race the race out. It's a long race. Just be patient.
Yeah. Wes, do you think that the 18 will get to victory lane this season?
Oh, most definitely.
Regular season.
Most definitely. I mean, he showed speed up there with me, battling with SHR. So he definitely has a chance.
Okay. We'll see if the 18 can hold it together as the season progresses. Still quite some time. The cap for the Cup Series is 600. We're at 426, so obviously a little ways to go, with each win counting as 75 points. So we'll keep an eye on that. Still several races to go before we start really talking about Chase. In any case, in that race, we saw Nightfall have the ability to get to the lead quite a few laps, but was unable to win as he battled with his teammate. Speedy, this time last season and in seasons past, obviously Nightfall being a champion, we know Nightfall to be one of the drivers that really seemingly can get wins at will. Does this feel like a season where Nightfall has taken maybe a step back, or is this a situation where other drivers around him, and obviously primarily those with SHR, have taken a step forward?
I think most drivers out there have been stepping up their game because the man's real fast. At the same time, with the game changes, maybe he has slowed down a little bit. I think everybody's getting faster, but I think at the same time he might be just a little bit behind as well when it comes to the long runs. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, Wes, you've ran with Nightfall. How would you describe Nightfall's when he's at his best? Is he a better on the short runs, or is he a better long run racer?
I would say he's kind of half and half on both. Obviously, he's very fast. And he's fast on both sides of the ball, kind of. But he's definitely stepping up his game each race he goes into.
Now, we know that Nightfall has come up short in championships the past 2 seasons after having absolute dominant performances. Could this be a situation where Nightfall is saying, okay, well, you guys go ahead, win your races and everything. I'm going to step up in the chase and make sure that he tries his best to cap off a chase run with the championship. Do you think that could be a possibility with someone who has been so fast and has done so much up until this point?
I'd say most definitely that he could be just try to keep himself where he can get the chase. That way, when the chase starts, he can come out there and try to win every race and whatnot, and just go off and just take the points lead and just win it. That could be his strategy. I gotta say, we gotta just wait and see what happens, because I know the guy's fast. I know the guy can win a race. Depends on if he can keep everybody else around him from doing the same.
So far, he is. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Wes.
No, I got nothing to add on that.
So far, he's been unable to keep out this guy, out of victory lane. One of his teammates, not the 71, the 41, one of his teammates, and that is Omari, who won the Iowa race. He's won Auto Club. Listen to his stats. Out of 7 races ran, 2 wins, 1 pole, 4 top 3s, 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s. He is just putting on an absolute show out there in the KMR series. He's been a huge surprise. Speedy, how stunned, how surprised are you that Omari is performing like he is, especially when you compare him to last season and then the season before that when he didn't really ever show up, and then he kind of showed up last season, and then now is like looking like Nightfall Jr. out there. What do you think? What do you think about his performances?
He's really improved. He's showing a lot of speed, but he's always been fast. I think he's doing what he needs to do to stay fast, to learn the lines, to learn the strategies and whatnot, get the setups right, where he can be out there and compete the way he has been. I think if he keeps it up, he's gonna be hard to beat.
He's definitely got his eyes on the chase, and rightfully so. Ironically enough, though, with all that he has done, Zesty, Dopey, Paint, they're all up above him. If you look at the points battle right now, the top 6, basically, because Salty's not too far behind, the top 6 are really having at it. 42 points back is Paint, Zesty 44 points, Omari 47 points. These 3 are just having it. Well, 4 are just having at it right now. Wes, how fun is it? Because we'll talk to you, because it's not fun for those racing against these guys. But how fun is it as a spectator for the Cup Series to see these guys battling like they are?
Very entertaining. I think it'll be close when it comes down to championship time. They're obviously fighting their guts out for that win and leading them laps. So we'll just have to see.
Absolutely. I tell you what, the poor performance by Zesty Sub really hurt Zesty, who had the points lead for exactly 1 week before Dopey took it back over. And now Dopey Lion is back as your points leader. Can he hang on to gain his or win his first regular season points title? We'll have to pay close attention. But if you look down towards the bottom of the point standings, you'll look at some more veteran drivers who are not having a good season. And we have to start with the driver of the 27, because it has been an absolute dismal season for the 27. Speedy, could we see a possibility of the 27 car not in the chase when chase time comes around?
If I'm going to be honest, I'm going to have to say yes. 27 has been struggling with speed, and the past few weekends he's been having some connection issues, which are really hurting him. So if it keeps up like that, there's a good chance he's not going to make it. With him being a teammate of mine, I want to help him as much as I can. I hope he gets the speed he needs and he's able to stay in to make it to the chase. But there's a lot of things that go involved to making sure that happens.
You know, we've seen seasons where the driver of the 27 starts off slow, and then is able to, in the chase, turn things around. But a lot of times by this point, he already has at least 1 race win and is pretty much locked in, so he can take his time and do that. How much pressure is on him now this season at this point to get a win before the chase starts?
I'd have to say it's a lot of pressure. Because right now we're probably down to maybe 5, 6 races left before the chase starts. And he's a good 25, 30 points out of the chase right now. So it's really important for him to go out here and show speed like I know he's capable of at Kansas. Dega's coming up, so I know you got a real good chance of winning that one. He's one of the best restricted plate drivers I know of. So if he can stick it around till Dega, I think he might have a good chance of winning that one and getting himself in, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, doing the math, if Dopey was to win the next 3 races, it'd be 3 races before the chase, 3 races, and then the chase starts. So not a huge window, but the series is so tight right now. Anybody can win almost. And so, that's not necessarily a guarantee. Somebody could DNF, somebody could win, and the season's prolonged by a race or 2. But anyway, yeah. So it's been a struggle. And if you look at the point series, JP didn't race last race, but JP Sub did race, and JP Sub did pretty good, and now all kinds of pressure is put on Sam Cook in that 27 to try and hang on. 221 to 235. Wes, can JP pull it out of the hat and kick Sam Cook out of the chase running?
Yeah, I think it'll definitely try and do that. Just depends if he can show up or not.
Sam,
Definitely.
question for you. Do you think you have Do you think you have what it takes to turn your season around and get to the championship round?
If I'm going to be honest with you, no. Been searching for answers all season, and and part of it has not been the fact that I don't think I have what it takes as far as speed, because the car has been fast, and there have been times I've been running up in the top 3, second, led laps. The problem is we can't seem to stay out of wrecks, and so when that happens, obviously you get involved. Because the attendance is what it is. Now you're starting, instead of starting 7th and working your way back up, you're starting in 16th or 14th or 15th, and now you've got to work back up with all these drivers who have talent and ability. And so I think that it's been a huge adjustment for us to figure out how we can get through, because every time we start making headway, we get involved in a wreck, and we get involved in some stupid stuff that tears up our car, or we get doored into the wall and it messes up our run, and then we're trying to search for answers again. And I think the progressive answers throughout the season, or rather throughout a race, are also what has killed us. We're fast on the start, but progressively as we go along, our adjustments have not helped us to gain speed as the race goes along. So that's really hurt. Other drivers are gaining speed as the race progresses, and we're kind of regressing. And so that has killed our run a lot of times and caused us to fall short of our expectations and what we want to accomplish. So we'll do everything that we can, though, to make sure that we try to beat out the 11. But as of this very moment, if we were to make the chase, honestly, we'd be a waste of a roster spot. But someone who is in the chase right now, Dale Jr., obviously he's subbed a lot. But let me ask you this, Speedy. Dale Jr., though he's had subs, his last finish when he was in the car was a top 3. He finished 3rd. Is that a sign that he could go out there and be competitive? How competitive are you expecting Dale to be in a chase run?
This season when he's shown up, he's shown a lot of speed, shown a lot of aggression. And he needs to have that aggression. Um, I think as long as he can start showing up and start getting the finishes like he did the last time he actually drove his own car, I think he's got a good chance to making it, if not all the way up to the top four.
Wow. So wouldn't that be a surprise for those that are SHR and the other drivers making it in to have Dale Jr. sitting in there battling with them? And we know Dale Jr. is not afraid to use that car, use the bumper, fenders, or anything else to to get his way up through the field. And but a long-time veteran and a race winner. And so when he gets back in the car, we'll see if he has what it takes this season. A lot of stories. We could go on and on, but time will not permit us. Keep your eyes out for Fractured Chain as he is starting to gain points on Speedy. 284 to 271. Not too far away from Slothy, his teammate. He could make a run. Hair Bear also gaining positions. Ghost Train, that lag out, that electronic failure killed him. He lost 2 positions and drops from 9th back down to 11th. So still a lot to go in terms of chase and chase runs. Real quickly though, team points. SHR leads CMR. Both of them are in triple digits, or triple digits, I should say. 1295 to 1010. JGR working hard to try and catch them. Wes, do you think SHR pretty much has this in the bag, or can CMR or JGR catch this SHR team, which has just been absolutely on fire?
I think if SHR has a lot of bad finishes and stuff goes bad for him, yeah, obviously everybody's going to catch up. But if they keep doing what they're doing, keeping in the rhythm, yeah, they're going to pull away a lot.
Okay. Speedy, your expectations on the team points battle. Can anyone catch SHR?
For the season's up, probably not. They've got over almost a 200-point lead. No, over a 200-point lead. I know CMR, we're doing the best we can. JGR, they're trying to do everything they can. I mean, they got 4 cars that show up almost every single week, and they're getting the really good finishes the way they need to be doing it. As long as that keeps happening, and we can't stop them, yeah, no. But if they turn around and start having a bad season or whatnot, or all of us start getting faster and start putting them behind us, yeah, we can catch them. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Pay close attention to that team points battle. JGR confident that they could at least improve to second place before the season ends. We'll see if time permits them to do that. All 3 series will be in Kansas this weekend. You can catch the action going live on Jaron Hazen channel, Twitch channel Jaron Hazen. And then later on, the replay on KMR TV, 105 The Drive, the Truck Series and the X Series. Cup Series, we're still working on a broadcaster, so I will put this special announcement out. If you are interested in broadcasting the KMR Truck Series that airs on Sunday, please message me again, Sam Cook 2728785, or message me on TwitchMonster27, and we will go over interviews to see and possibly allowing you to fill that position to broadcast this Cup Series so everyone can get a chance to see what goes on in our Sunday Cup Premiere Series. This has been the Speed Report. Thank you, Speedy, for joining us. Thank you, Wes, special guest, for joining us today. And we look forward to next week after Kansas is ran. We'll see what shenanigans happened that we can talk about. Until next time, this is KMR signing out.